Yep.
Well, a little
Use
harder.
the phone
It
pick.
was a little harder in this scenario. It's not like the same overlay.
Oh,
Ah, it's true.
But
big oof.
No, well.
yeah, it's big oof. But what I was saying, Dylan, was gonna kind of go over a small primer about like and kind of set up as to like what we'll be doing in the future here, um, at least for Wednesdays. So one of the big things that we're obviously switching is I mentioned the name already, which is Dark Matter.
Mm-hmm.
This for as we've kind of somewhat have talked about before, we will now be going into this new setting, which is an entirely sci-fi based setting. And some would think, man, won't that make things easier? The answer is no.
Have you seen Event Horizon?
So there will be a lot of kind of different ways of looking at things, a couple ways to set up, but I kind of wanted to rerun you guys through kind of what your, I guess your baseline is. So if there's any confusions about kind of how to set up your characters, kind of what you need, what like any concerns you may have. Oh yeah, I deactivated Shadows and Empire, and it's like sad to see it all grayed out in D&D Beyond.
Yeah. I went in today to remove my or to view the campaign, and I saw that like there's no longer an option to view the campaign. I was just like, oh, it's just gone.
Mhm.
Okay.
The end of an age.
We've got 2 robots. Interesting.
2 robots.
We have
Ooh.
2
Do
robots.
we? I thought
We do now.
I guess
Now
I
I'm
haven't.
gonna look on
And
my
you're
side.
both Rangers. What the hell? What the hell?
Wait, what's going on?
you and Bennett.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah, you're both
You're
Rangers.
both Rangers. That's
I didn't mean to
hilarious.
ask
Oh.
about that.
I didn't. I
What
did not
language
notice
do you
that.
speak?
No.
I gotta have a chat with him about that. That's interesting.
I left it open to you guys. It's totally fine. It'll be
What language did the Vector?
No,
three-
that could be
I
fun.
will have to talk to Bennett more about it though. But
I think it might be covered in the Vect race section.
yeah, I mean
Typically.
2 humans. We have 2 humans. We have a bird person. We're good.
I mean,
We've got
I'm near
we've got
human.
3 experimental. You're pretty much human. It's just a different. It's just a different type of variant.
It's a different
It
version.
allows you to have a weird skin color like green or blue.
Oh no, this is
Or
like
onyx.
if the way I decided to just with the near human and then the fact that I have the warped feet, this guy does not resemble human at all.
Awesome.
Yeah, we still have a nervous.
I still
system,
need
that's what matters.
Yeah, in the system wise, he's basically variant human.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
as and I'll kind of start by reading off the primer I gave you guys and kind of going more into detail about certain things. Mostly because obviously any audience doesn't see this primer. This would be good for when I post this kind of as the VOD later. So there's little to know about space. Despite being connected to a number of planets, communications, intergalactic travel through the Maw, space still confounds us. Dares us to know more. Much is to be discovered of these worlds and the societies that govern them. However, for now, all that has been put on hold, is the Tower have deemed you all compatible hosts for a new form of experimental armor, the Gabos frame. You are here at the Tower due to the fact that they have given you some type of offer that was good enough that you would not want to refuse. Lighter than most external armor suits and tougher than most shield units, the Gabos frame allows you to have your armor grow with your experiences. As you get stronger, the armor enhances your abilities. You'll be placed on one of the top bounty hunter worlds of Vixen 5. Here you will work with Astrogations Incorporated in order to do basic tasks and to test the systems early on and begin seeing how far the Gabos frame will go. So essentially the idea for what will be the 3 experimentees is you guys kind of were off in your home worlds, doing whatever, if you're a janitor, or you just were at home, doing certain kind of things, basic jobs. Obviously nothing too fantastical, otherwise you wouldn't be level 1 characters. But then
I'm a high-ranking government official.
I mean, technically you
Leader
could
of my
be.
clan.
You could
Also the leader of a
planets-
special divisions unit.
planets will have monarchies. You can kind of
Yeah.
you can kind of just get.
No.
There's a number of realistic circumstances where you get
No.
jobs you don't have the experience for, but we won't
It's
go
called
into
No,
those.
no, that was just me throwing shade at Tyler, even though you're maybe the only one that might get the reference.
Well, yeah,
But I don't think
still,
you were there at that time.
No,
No, damn it.
but yeah, you guys. So what will be Franny, Peyton, and Jade. You essentially just need to come up with a basic reason as to what it is that your character really has this big goal. Like your character's goal is this, or they've, they lost an arm in a farming accident or whatever. Their planet was war torn and they were trying to escape and lost a leg, or and then the tower was like, hey, we'll give you a robotic arm or leg.
Babu.
Those are expensive. We'll take care of it. Don't worry. And,
Okay, so
but
okay,
you
I
gotta
was
do
thinking
this.
like the
Or just
whole
money.
Nice.
the whatever frames. I was thinking it was like a Warframe or like Anthem, like it's a suit you put on and then it gives you X abilities.
Well, so that's what it will be. Is that essentially
Not like automail.
So without the frame, you don't have most of your class abilities.
Okay.
Without the frame, and so the frames are interesting, and the 2 Vect players will kind of be immune to this in a way. But this is just kind of how the universe works. Whereas there are, yes, in a way, it's the difference between a Warframe and a Anthem exosuit. The exosuit that's an Anthem is a pure just machine that you just walk in and boom boom.
Yeah, full on Iron
But,
Man. You put
it's
it
just
on.
Whereas the Warframe is like nanites and cells and stuff.
Yeah, it
It's
is you. It's a part of you.
Yeah.
The Gabos frame is very much the Warframe to the Anthem Iron Man suit. And so for the Vect and for the 2 Vex, you just kind of upgrade just by being Vect. So your upgrading is a little more like the Anthem or the normal armors. But you kind of get more of your innate abilities just by being you, because you're always you. So the fact that you guys are Rangers actually makes this story-wise a little nicer. But that's why
I'm super
that's also
down
why
with-
Vect are very feared, is because they're always at their peak performance.
Okay,
I'm
this
super
kind
down.
of helps because go ahead, Dylan.
I'm super down with Bennett being a Vect also, and if he's a Ranger as well, that's a really interesting angle. If he matches any more of his character to be exactly like mine, I'm gonna start checking my house for cameras. Because now that the option is out there, I'm kind of curious.
You know,
Is he also gonna be a reconnaissance member, like a reconnaissance scout? Is he?
yeah, he's
I'm
letting
on
us
my
view
phone right
his.
now. My computer's dead.
Because
let's see.
is
He
Bennett
was-
the ink whatever ink
Well,
peasant?
Yeah,
he-
Ink the Peasant.
He decided I may enlighten him on maybe the idea to not do so. It's up to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, so
but
far, just looking at his
he's
character,
got-
it seems pretty standard Ranger.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if maybe he would be, because I feel like he'd be better
Is
off. if he had,
constructs
like,
and is
the
constructs
studded
your favorite
leather.
enemy? And your natural
No, it's
explorer's mountain.
Yeah, He has forest and humans.
No, I can't reveal it, man.
Kill all humans.
Ooh, kill all humans.
Yeah, yours is the only one that's completely locked to everybody else. Everyone else is like, ah, come look what I got. And you're like, no, surprise for everybody.
I mean, whoever Gemstone is the same.
It's who
can't
I
be
am as a
theirs.
player. I love surprising
Really? You
you
can't
guys.
be mine?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
there's-
I can
there's still
view
more
your,
to be put in.
your profile,
Mhm.
which isn't really
That's awesome.
anything on it, but
Interesting. I thought
yeah.
I had mine set the.
Well, and some of
I
the
mean-
things you can't see, or other people usually can't see.
it's like your notes, your
Yeah,
Yeah, your notes, your creatures, and I think there's like another
Yeah.
third option.
I don't think you can see your description where that has like your alignment and a few other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
They can really only see like the mechanical side of your character.
yeah.
So-
but I can see all.
Yeah. Marshall sees everything, so if
Yeah,
you write in your
yeah.
notes, "I'm gonna kill Jet" one of these days, he will know.
Scroll.
Hey,
No, I
Um,
never wrote. I don't even think I took really any notes in this
Um,
past
My
game.
character in
No,
Dark
I
Matter is gonna
relied
go
heavily
back in time
on-
and kill Jet.
I mean, I need to do it for this campaign, but
yeah.
I was writing like
still
little.
here.
So
Okay,
a big
I'm
thing.
trying not
so,
to
yeah,
be the biggest asshole in the room this time.
it's probably gonna be me.
Okay.
honestly.
I know I'm like interrupting
no, it's fine.
Marshall, kind of talking about the general campaign. I do want to make predictions about everybody's characters.
Mhm.
And one of the big ones is that I am 100% confident that Jade's new character isn't going to steal a single thing this campaign. I think he's going to play it super holier than thou. I am a good person and I'm better than you, and I do not steal, I do not commit crimes. Everyone should follow my example. I think he's going to be that kind of character, and I think he's going to manage to play it all the way through.
I agree with that, but here's the thing: I feel like there's gonna be one vice, one
oh, yeah?
temptation that he can't look away
Praise
from.
the
Like, it's
sun.
gonna be something. There has to be like one flaw, because
I'll be honest with me, Jade. Did you make this character just because you wanted to be Solar?
No, but I would be heavily lying if I wasn't contemplating the name Solaire for the longest time. I'm sitting there like I could just name him that. It's kind of a pun. I guess it works. I could do it, but I was like,
I
it's
wouldn't
on
have
the
stopped you.
nose.
I
know,
think
but-
Kristoff was almost Solaire. I'm just like, what is the most paladin thing I could think of? Solaire.
Praise the sun.
I'm like, it doesn't really
Although,
fit. Let's
little
just use the
sneak
random
peek.
name generator.
You will not be able to stop me from saying praise the sun nearly every episode, probably
Oh.
more than once.
Yes. Well, it'll. Be
You're going to have to
fitting.
put a counter in the corner.
Oh, please do.
Ding.
Yes.
It will be fitting for sure.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
believe-
So now knowing that you're like a praise the sun kind of cleric, you're the polar opposite to my sorcerer.
So funny.
You are the exact polar. Why do we always
Oh,
play
this will
polar
be good.
opposites?
I don't know, but when you put in the chat,
This
like,
is
who
so
wants
good.
to be friends with an edgy sorcerer? I'm like, oh.
Hey, could work.
I mean-
Opposites may attract.
No, not in this case. Not
no,
what I'm
it would,
thinking.
It would be highly unlikely that the friend would be with either of you. Peyton, I do have an idea to work with you. In going into this.
Yeah.
It won't play out right away. But it will get to there somewhere. It'll be one of those that come in time more than anything.
I mean, telling them, now knowing that the frame things aren't like actual suits that you put on,
So
it kind of gave
yeah.
me an idea for
There will
how,
be-
why my character goes there.
there
now.
will be something that you kind of wear. So again, the Warframe suit is
Crocs.
still a Warframe suit.
No.
Think of it in a way. The best way for me to describe it is the way that there's the way that Iron Man's suit gets added originally, and then there's the way that his Iron Man gets suit added, or his suit gets added onto him now, where it just materializes
Nanobots.
on him.
Extremist,
Nano
yeah.
machine, son.
Nanomachine, son. So yeah, I mean, just so you're at least aware, just in terms of the mechanic aspect of it, The way a lot of things will work for anybody that was in the like beta session, which for here was just Dylan and Jade. You guys will have different stats for when you're kind of in your frame and when you're not. However, your powers will be unlocked when you're within the frame. Otherwise, if you're a spellcaster, you will have subdued spellcasting outside of it. So essentially, no matter what, so at level 1, it won't make a huge difference. But the idea will be when you're in your frame, you have your total class accessibility. You have all of your you have your proficiency bonus. You have all of your skills. All your skill proficiencies and whatnot, and those will stay. But when you're out of your frame, you are always going to be like this level 1 character minus like the spells that it gives you, because the idea is that these are like enhancing your innate abilities. So anybody who has spellcasting has an Esper gene in them, which allows them to channel things like magic. And so what the suit does is it just kind of brings it out and lets you use it, whereas a normal suit would just kind of do it on its own. And the difference is, and the reason that this is kind of important story-wise, is that as far as the world is at the moment in the large sense, all the normal frames, whenever you like get you want to level up, you have to get a new one. Right?
A whole new frame?
Like traditionally, like the way the universe is set is that like when you want to level up, you have to get in it. You have to either get it fitted, like get it completely upgraded, or get a new one, like one or the other, depending on where you want to go. And it's cheaper to upgrade. So that's one of those things. Yeah. You could buy into being a level 10, but it's how expensive.
Pay to win, buddy. Works in
everything,
pay to win. Even D&D.
No, I just messaged you my idea of how the frame would work with my character. I don't know if that throws a whole cog into your hole. When you take it off, you are limited in your abilities.
It's a onesie.
Yeah, so partly you're not off. So what you guys will be experimenting is a suit that would essentially connect with you and grow with you. Yeah. So the base part of the suit, there's two parts to it. There is an implant, and then there's a pack. The pack is what holds all like the nanomachines. And that will like create the armor, and like that will give you the full unlock. The like implant will give it kind of that will create kind of the connectivity to your person, so it will kind of generate parts of your cells. So that's what will allow you guys to access, even though it'll be under level 1, it will allow you to access your proficiency bonus as a level 1 character, but for your skills and for any saves, like all those things that you had, it allows you to access a level 1 proficiency bonus, so it's better than nothing. But when you have it on, which depending on what you are, it has different levels. Like some may be like thinner, some maybe not. But then it will give you the ability to it will give you all those extra benefits of like the higher proficiencies and whatnot. The downside obviously is you can't, as far as I know, like the way that this works is that it continuously grows with you. So there's not like you can just slap this Gabless frame on and you'll be, high level, you'll be level 10, like it has to kind of grow with you. But the benefit is that since it's obviously easier to upgrade and it learns with you better, it could potentially be more powerful. It could last longer. It'll be more durable. Like repairs on it aren't a problem, because that's the thing. You could buy a Mark 10 frame, like a normal frame. And cool, you're a level 10 character. It breaks. All right, Sucks to be you. So like it's in a way this is their way of trying to make like essentially a whole new way to be able to have a thing of armor that will grow with you, be able to unlock your abilities, and be easier to repair. Whereas like that isn't the status quo. Now with the Vect, you get for you and Bennett, Dylan. This you guys kind of have the benefit of being Vect.
Here, I'll be right back.
Yeah, that you are always kind of at your top performance.
Sure.
You know, like there's no everything that is built into you guys is just built into you guys.
It's still accessible.
Yeah, you can't take off on and off armor really. You
I was
armor.
curious. Yeah, I was curious. Because there's a lot that plays into the fact that we're Vect. Technically, we have limbs that are replaceable and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about, because I haven't encountered it in the playbook yet. Would it? I imagine my character would have some forms of like casual clothing. Like this character doesn't wear clothing all that much when he's actually like out doing most of his work, but he would have some casual clothing I had in mind. Do you imagine in this setting that a lot of like the modern clothing that we have now would translate over to this period, or do you even like casual wear would just be like super future tech or like a totally different design and style? Like, would it be out of place for us to see characters in like hoodies and like t-shirts and things like that?
Not really. Or like I'm at like, or sorry, I phrased that wrong. Like it's not really weird. I always kind of like to look at Mass Effect because it kind of has both levels of that.
Mm-hmm.
You see like this kind of fancy techie like clothing on like people on bridges and in spaceports and like those in the military or like parts of different things. And then if you see like any of the normal civilians, they're like just wearing jeans, a shirt.
Yeah, I feel like some of
Like a
the
jacket.
staples of fashion won't have gone away
Yeah, and a lot of the
dramatically.
a lot of the art that you'll see in Dark Matter, you can see some that kind of resemble it, like in the Gadgeteer.
Yeah.
Its clothes actually on its base are pretty normal. It just has all the extra gadgets on top, but otherwise the clothes themselves are pretty normal. You know, you can see imagery of just like an amoeboid and just a normal doctor's jacket. It's not like all techified. It's just a jacket, it's just a white coat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Easiest Halloween costume in the world.
The thing about Vect is it just depends on kind of the type of Vect you are. Some that are a lot more built, some that kind of accept. If some are put into a role and accept like this idea that like they kind of have a purpose, and they're just about that purpose. They don't really like worry about their humanity, I guess, as much. Like their sentience isn't as important as much as it is just to like do what they think they're supposed to do with their like with their life. They are more likely to maybe be ones that don't really wear clothes ever, like just kind of be their normal robotiness. Whereas like some kind of attach so much to their sentience that it's just like some are just completely dress, act, do everything like a normal human outside of obviously like use frames because they can't. So yeah, like that's kind of those are kind of two bigger things with it. You guys will not be the only ones around to ever have these frames, by the way. Like you're not the only people that they're doing any of these experiments are. But you are obviously just the one that we are focusing on, and you're one that's mostly connected. You're the ones that will be connected to the actual designer and like main engineer of the project.
The main characters of the story, if you would.
For now. I say that because in things like Shadows of an Empire, I may or may not have been very lenient in terms of, or not very lenient, very conservative on my attempts to murder you. This will not be the case.
Oh.
See, that's why I stuck with Shadow Sorcerer. Because I have at least once a day get out of jail free card if I can pass the save.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So that
if I
doesn't mean
die,
that there will be 0 ways to bring a character back to life if you were to die, you know. But if you can't if you either choose to leave them there, if you're like they're dead and you just decide, I guess they're dead, and you just leave them there, then that's it. But then or it's like, you know, as characters, you would all know that there are ways to bring people back. They're not always the cheapest, or you have to cut certain deals, or you have to know the right people. You have to be in the right part of the world, of the universe. Like a Maw, be really like if you had a street fight on a Maw and someone just totally reamed one of you, and like, because a Maw is like a Mass Effect. By the way, those are like Mass Effect portals. They're just ways to quickly transport throughout the universe. Although they look much creepier than a Mass Effect portal does. But because they're just like skeletons of like ancient void like gods or like things. They just kind of call them gods, like ancient gods. But their source is unknown. But yeah, like you guys, if you guys are just on a Maw though, right, you wind up in the bad neighborhood. Because these are big ports. They have civilizations on them, right? Mm-hmm. Merchants go there. They're good in bad neighborhoods. You know, you wind up in the bad side of town. One of you just gets totally destroyed, just wrecked, and you get to just like full death. You do enough favors for somebody within the amount of time you have, which is like 7 days. You could pretty simply bring somebody back to life, or find somebody. You can simply find somebody to bring someone back to life. The favors may not be easy, but if you can get them done, then it's possible. And all your characters would know this idea, in fact. But obviously now, if you're on a dead planet that you didn't know anything of, you're very far from any Maw or known civilization. You either are surrounded by primal species or no species, but then suddenly you're attacked by a thing, or like you die of heat exhaustion. Then and you can't carry them, or like it's gonna take too long for you to find civilization again, then that's it. It's over. So there are potential, like in any scenario, there's potential to always bring somebody back, and there's the chance that you can't. It depends on where these things happen. And it'll be up to your characters, obviously, to decide when and if you need to do those things. But in Shadows, I kind of gave you guys the leniency of the potential ability to most likely not actually die. Just be heavily maimed.
Nothing like a light maiming.
Yeah. So it's definitely something to give you a heavy maiming. But this will definitely not be the case. Like, this will absolutely, if you are not careful enough, or I should say not really careful enough, because you don't have to be that careful to die or to avoid death. But if you're careless enough, you will die. You must die. But yeah, so that is on the table. These Gabos frame don't give you plot armor. Like I said, you're not the only ones. You're just the only one that's attached to a person of interest in terms of character and story wise.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the universe is big, and the possibilities, like the universe, are endless.
I feel like we'll take like someone's body back to the tower and is like, "Hey, can you resurrect him?" Like, nope, but thanks for bringing the frame back, and they just shove him in a back room and start ripping shit off.
Yeah, it depends. You guys probably will. I'll probably give you guys a little bit of training wheels. I mean, that's kind of what your. That's usually what first level quests are anyway.
Yeah.
Like a lot of first level like quests are like find the thing or kill the rats.
Dude, rats can fuck you up.
I mean, yeah.
Pick up my dry cleaning.
If there's enough. Deliver this package. By the way, we're not going to show
Get
up
me
when we
coffee.
say we'll be there.
Yeah.
Wait in
so-
line at the DMV.
So
No.
are there any concerns?
Make
that
a
you
wisdom
guys have?
save.
Any concerns you guys have for going into this?
I am concerned that my character is going to terrify all of you, or be extremely annoying depending on the circumstances.
I mean, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
will
same
find
here.
I made peace with my lot in life.
I think, man, Franny's character, I think, is gonna be a total edgelord.
Oh,
There can only be
That's
one.
my
There can
prediction.
only be one.
I think we're
want
gonna
it.
get two. I think we're
I
actually
don't
gonna get
think
two.
Fran's gonna be an edge. I think
No.
he's gonna be more.
I hope he sticks with his like on-brand oblivious character.
yeah, I don't know about that either.
Trademark.
From what kind of he's told me, I think he's gonna be a little more on the level.
I mean, I just want another rare. Honestly, that character was so fun. Like,
yeah, I don't know exactly how deep though his hole will go in terms of his character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so far I'm not really deep. Besides, like the
yeah.
interesting connection between my background, a feature I get from my class, and then my feat I took from being a strange variant human.
Yeah, the last thing, honestly, I just need from any of you is just kind of what it is that it took for the tower to get you there. Dylan, we had our discussion. I now have to have a discussion with Bennett because choosing Vect has, obviously, because you're not compatible with the Gabos frame, obviously changes some of the backstory things. So for at least Peyton, Jade, and what will be Franny, they'll just have to be the reason that you guys were like, sure, I'll take your offer. And that's why I wonder if the whole money joke you made was actually befitting of this character or not, Jade.
No. Well, maybe.
Are you full on bird where you're just like, must collect shiny, must save shiny for sun above, wants shiny.
The shiny reflects the holy rays of the sun, so the shiny is good.
When I
I
lay
gave
out
the sun
gold,
blue
it makes a
when he
little
smashed.
sun, so the sun reflects on the little gold and makes a new sun.
It is now the
Worship
sun
the sun.
below.
Yeah.
I must raise it up so that it is above.
As above,
Let me
so below.
solar.
Hail the sun!
Praise it.
Hail the sun. The night time is the wrong time.
Marshall,
the-
let me solar.
Just be Solar.
Let me solar. I gave you blue.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
If I ever played a Kenku character, I would totally go that route of just.
I mean, you could kind of go that route with your Goblin character once we get
I mean, I could. I
Franny's
mean,
campaign rolling.
Pickle pea.
I was going more the route of Burp Sneeze being like an adrenaline junkie.
Ooh, fun.
Well, he's gonna have quite the withdrawal then on this boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Just
boy.
need a little.
He just like ties a rope to himself like onto the boat, just to be like, I just gotta swing. He just like jumps
I
off
just gotta-
so he can just swing around and be like, woo!
I mean, okay, like one thing, because I do have the strength and dex to pull this off. I feel like it's just if Franny would let me, I want to like leap off from one of the masts or like the ropes and just go like full face hugger on someone.
Yeah, the aim is yeah. You'd have to. It would just be getting the rolls, I think. Really.
Yeah, like that's why I feel like it's possible, but, or like swing from a rope and just like. I just had like this image of like someone running around with a goblin on their face, and the goblin's doing like this high pitched scream.
Get it off! Get it off!
I mean, last time I played a goblin, I did that, where I would hide in people's backpacks, and then when I wasn't allowed, I would just like do a running sprint and go face hugger. And then he got shoved into a giant ball of spider silk.
There's definitely going to be some points where I will make a Dobby joke towards you.
And it most likely goes straight over his head.
These are things that will happen in this campaign. Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, for
I'm really excited to play Burp Sneeze.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to play as a pure chaos character once again.
Yeah, well, and I'm also really excited for you guys to start Dark Matter. There are so many like different types of like adventures you guys can go on.
The more I read from the playbook, the more pumped I'm getting about just the whole setting in general. There's like a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, and I really get the chance just to, like, I get to just design adventures instead of like this whole, like, the whole quest line, and that's something that I think makes this a lot more nice for me, is that I can just kind of have you guys in a setting, but then you're just like, all right, well, these are available to you. What do you want to do? All right, we'll do this one. Okay, cool.
I feel like Jade and I are going to be borderline mortal enemies again.
I would still find it hilarious if you guys became like best friends.
I highly doubt it, but you'd never know.
It's what I want.
I mean,
want you to know, Peyton,
people want a lot of things. No, I don't hold any hard feelings towards you either, but I just feel like with the whole you are of the sun and I am of like shadow magic,
but
I feel like
this also. I mean, you could play this a lot like in DCA, that like they do like the Strix and Evelyn, where like Strix is very much the dark,
scared
sour,
of everything.
Yeah, scared of everything, kind of sourpuss, and Evelyn is just this, happy, loving Lathander. Everything is a joy.
Worship the sun.
Protect all that is holy kind of person. Or at least everything that is Lathander.
I guess
she just loves him, and that's the thing, is like you could totally play this idea of like anybody who is under the sun deserves to be in the sun's warmth, and thus I shall give the warmth of the sun above. So like,
or when
his character like rejects
zealot.
you, that's what I was saying. So like when his dark character rejects you, you're like, no, become
we are going to
part
be
of the
friends.
warmth. Join the warmth. Be in the sun.
It's like when an extrovert tries to adopt an introvert as a friend.
That would be so
Yeah,
good.
for sure. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, that actually happened to me. My best
It has happened to me too. That's how I met most of my friends at college. I had like one class with this guy named Shay, and it was just like, okay, this is Francis. This is the other Francisco I know. This is Andrea. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't mean for this to happen.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just sitting in my corner in back of electronics, just sitting there talking to nobody.
Yeah.
Oh. But no, yeah.
Introverts get adopted by extroverts.
It's how the world works.
And that's I no matter what, I'm excited to do this. And honestly, like, while it always sucks to lose a character, My note about like you guys like having the potential to lose your characters or whatever is like, the bigger part of it really is also just like, at the same time, like that also means like if you guys take a risk and if it either doesn't work out, yeah, it always sucks to lose your character, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that like everything's ruined. It's gonna be really hard to move things in like this setting the way everything's I've put into place here. It's very easy to bring whatever you want into the fold, add in new characters as they need be. But I do want you guys to obviously make the attempt to have these characters kind of be around and be something that, that potentially like is, we can potentially get an audience, recurring back here to, attach to.
Or we could just kill off a character because the player started doing a funny accent and we want them to keep doing it.
No.
Yes. Yes. We'll do it again, Marshall.
No, we will not.
It will happen again.
I'm not Scott.
Come on.
Backstory to that is we were in our Friday campaign. Our friend John started doing this pirate accent. I guess this is while I was gone. Everybody just thought it was funny, I guess. And so
and it is turned into like, okay, one character has to die.
They attempted to find a way to kill the character he was playing, and he was like, so he like misspoke when he gave like this command.
No,
spell.
I think that was a straight up error on John's part.
Well, that's what I was saying. So he misspoke.
I think subconsciously we all wanted.
Well, he was trying to do this command spell or something like that, right? Like he was trying to tell somebody to do something, and like that they would have to do it. Well, so he misspoke, and so he said like,
all right.
Oh yeah, he essentially.
I
made himself,
got the whole story.
Yeah,
it'll take a.
But essentially, he made it so that it would make sense for the party to have the desire to attack his character.
Yeah.
And
so.
Oh yeah, because he told Franny. He told Franny, I think he told Franny's character or somebody else to, because his character's name was Sin, and he said to kill Sin.
Yeah.
When he meant to say it was Mischief, Peyton's character. So, but
yeah,
he was like, well, technically I said it.
And Scott, I am too prideful at the moment to back down.
Yeah. And Scott, if anything, maybe would have easily just been like, did you mean this? And it was like, sure. But this goes into where John was secretly kind of just wanting to get rid of this character. So he was just kind of like...
Yeah, no.
And, he's like, well, and I rolled pride for today, which means I'm too proud to admit that I've made mistakes. And I've technically said this aloud, so I'm going to be a stickler about it today. Yes, I said that, and no, I will not back down. I am going to go exactly to my rules that I have set. I'm not fudging my rules at all.
Yeah. The way it started was...
And then the entire party had to attack him as a result. And they killed her.
All right. That's good. Stick with your
Well, it started out as a brawl, and I think where it went from... we wanted this character was like randomly Scott's like, all right, the brawl ended up in the streets and like there's no one in the streets. It's just empty town, no lights in buildings, no nothing. It's just you, and you're like, okay, cool, because of some fucking magic bullfuckery
the
of
Elder God decided to show up.
Elder God that decided to pay attention to us and is just screwing over our way of life. We're on another plane, and the only way to leave is to kill one of us. And fortunately, because it was a rogue versus a barbarian in a fisticuffs brawl that quickly turned into a weapons fight, but the rogue still lost.
Yes,
he was the lowest.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised by that.
Yeah,
I don't know. He got a lot of good licks in, mainly because he kept getting knocked. Franny's character was in love with that character, so he kept
that's right.
feeding her potions of healing. And as soon as she would come back to conscious, would stab him in the ribs. It was such a clusterfuck.
It was very funny. Reading it was interesting because again, I wasn't there, so I got like this big text story like. So you want to know what happened, and I just got.
The way it started was John's character Sin rolled pride, so she was like, okay, I need to have the finest bed sheets. goes out, buy like super expensive silk bed sheets, goes to bed. In the middle of the night, I sneak in and use prestidigitation to drop 5 feet of cubic mud on top of her while asleep. And immediately woke up pissed. Mischief got spooked, bamped out with Misty Step. I'm the only person in the party who can use Misty Step, so it's pretty easy that I drop 5 feet of mud on her. So she storms to the bar to Franny's drunk barbarian at the bar, wakes him up, and casts suggestion, says, I want you to go kill Sin. Misspoke instead of saying Mischief, said Sin. They start fighting. It got really weird.
Things happen.
Things happen.
She's dead.
At some point, Francisco's character, Finn, kissed John's character, Sin, and then she woke up and stabbed him in the back.
There's a
Love
lot
will
of
do that
events.
to a man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Finn realized that Sin's not gonna stop trying to kill him, so he jumped out a window. That's how we got into the street. And at the end of it, it's like, all right, you have to kill one of your people to leave this place because you kind of fucked with my plan indirectly by saving this small child from a village that was burning down. I'm like, really?
How dare you?
If you want the kid, just take the fucking kid. I don't care. I'm chaotic evil. Fuck the kid. And everyone's like, no, we need to protect her. We just got her back to her grandma. I'm like, I'll go up to her room right now and slit her throat where she's at. She's not in this dimension. Well, send me there. You want the kid dead? I'll kill her. No, I don't want the kid dead. I want one of you to die. And that's where I'm like, all right, I think we all wanted John to keep doing the pirate
the
accent.
pirate voice. So yes, his new character. Yeah, so his new character he rolled up is a College of Swords bard who's also a pirate.
Yeah.
It's a fun accent, but like the way that character is and just seeing the clusterfuck of our party is like totally, I don't want to be here, but I'm now obligated because I walked with you for 20 minutes. So it's kind of a weird circumstance. But yeah, that is D&D.
Yep.
Kill someone's character so they get to keep doing a funny accent.
Keep doing the
That's what it's all
voice.
about.
John, keep doing the voice. I don't know. No. I mean, I would if I had to make another character and then Scott's ears perk up. Like,
Hmm.
I don't. Yeah. Also, he could have stopped the fight at any time, so I think John wanted a new character too.
Well, the thought came to mind, but
Yeah.
oh wait, yeah, that is Friday. Almost forgot I needed to reset all my alarms now.
Oh, because you
My
got the new phone?
Yeah.
Big oof.
All right, they're all set. What
Are we
it's
still on the
supposed to do.
stream?
Yep. No, we'll be closing here.
I just realized that.
Nope. Letting you finish that. All right. So that'll do it for this kind of extra long episode of our Tilted Roll podcast, which didn't include Franny, amazingly.
Everyone but him. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay. But yes, I'm very excited. Next week we'll be starting the lives in Dark Matter. We'll just kind of figure out some extra stuff, but we'll kind of slowly get into things. Very much Dark Matter, by the way, is going to be a milestone campaign. I wanted to kind of note that. A milestone in a very different way. It's not just going to be like do this thing I want you to do and then level up. It's more like,
so I can't keep sneakily adding 50 XP every few days.
Well, it'll change kind of based on whatever you guys are doing. But for example, with level 1, it'll be complete certain tasks that the tower wants you to do to kind of test your level 1 capacity, and then they will provide the capacity to start your leveling up process, things like that. So be prepared so that'll be soon enough next week. But until then, that is it for today. Back to our normal D&D-ness next week.
Yep.
So I will see you all then.
Back to being mortal enemies with Jade.
Or
Maybe.
not.
Maybe.
Doesn't have to be.
I honestly, yeah, I